Hello, welcome to an African Mission with your brother Dobia Anzanse. Please, if you are joining us for the first time, know that this is a missionary platform. We are on a mission, one African mission. And our mission is all about the unity of the African race. And we are calling you to join the mission. Just as we keep saying, King Leopold, before he could colonize our people in Africa, in Congo, he has to send missionaries. And the mission of those missionaries was to brainwash our people. Before he could colonize our people politically, they had to brainwash our people spiritually and mentally. And their mission was to tell our people that everything Africa was bad and everything Europe was good. So this is a counter mission to that of King Leopold. Let us all join together and debunk what King Leopold and his people and his missionaries taught our people. Because the effect of King Leopold missionaries in Africa, we can still feel it up till today in Congo or in Africa. So please join our mission. Let us all together fight for a united Africa, because that is where we can get our dignity. Our mission is all about the unity of Africa and also the dignity of the African race. But we cannot get our dignity without unity. We can only have our dignity through unity. If we are united, then we can get our dignity. So please join our mission. If you appreciate what we are doing here in One African Mission, please support us. We just came back from our first mission. We went to Ghana, Ethiopia, and some parts of Kenya. It is not easy, but we need your support. How do you support us? It's by subscribing to our YouTube channel and also following us on Facebook, because our intention is to go around the 54 states in Africa. 54 states. We call it states, not countries, because at the end of the day, if we are united, then all these countries will become states. So please join our mission. The Zion train is here. Join the mission. Let us all together fight for a united Africa, because that is where we can get our dignity as children of Africa. So yes, as we are talking about getting our dignity, I was having a conversation with this brother, this Indian brother, and then through our conversation, he asked me a question. He said to me, oh, they just celebrated their new year in November, Indians. And then he asked me, when is Africa New Year? Do we have our own New Year? I was a bit embarrassed. He is my friend. I was a bit embarrassed because in Africa we don't have our own New Year. We celebrate everything and anything that our colonizers gave to us. So yes, I came across this video. I want you to watch that video so that I will ask you a question. We will suggest as children of Africa, because our mission is to conscientize the minds of the African as to what we can do to have our dignity, what we can do to have pride, just as everybody has. Because the Europeans, the Chinese, the Arabians, the Indians, everybody got their own New Year. Where is our New Year? So let us watch this video, come back and just have one or two words or questions to ask ourselves as children of Africa.
Is first food celebrations. If you look at all Africans, now we celebrate New Year on the 1st of January. Well, who are we celebrating? Because the rains come in September, and in October we hold rain-making ceremonies, and then in November we celebrate nature conversation. In December is first food celebrations. And then in March is harvest celebrations. Now, they gave us a Roman calendar, Gregorian calendar. The Romans didn't even have a calendar. When Julius Caesar conquered Egypt and fell in love with Cleopatra VII, he learned about the African calendar. And then from there, he asked someone to adapt it for their use. But because the seasons differ in the north and in the south, of course, they make it upside down. Their summer is our winter, yeah, and vice versa. And then they gave us the version of the distorted calendar of the West, which actually is a copy of our calendar, which they distorted. But if you can go to any community in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, they will say that the year starts in September. Ask them why. Because in September, at the dawn of the new moon in September, there are 7 stars that appear at the center of heaven. These stars, in Kilobedi will say Kilimela. The Pedi will say Slimela. The Tswana will say Slimela. Basotho will say Slimela. The Zulus will say Izilimela. The Karanga will say Chirimela. The Kalanga will say Slimela. So that celestial worldview unites all of us. So if we were to celebrate New Year in September as African people, that would be the first basis for our unity. And why do we celebrate that when those stars appear? Because we say, Isilimo, Shirimo in Tsonga, Chirimo in Venda, Silimo in Tswanas. Now, even the season, our season, it's named after the celestial sphere.
True.
And now, those 7 stars, they form a circular wall of heaven. Inside there, you have the highest being. That highest being is called Tapa or Ptah. Tapa is the root of the name Ethiopia. Ptah is the root of the name Egypt. But that is, Tapa and Ptah is defined as the one or the good that we call God. But this one of the good is an unknown and unknowable God, which manifested itself as the Queen of Heaven, Muwari or Muwali Wedenga. Now, that Muwari Wedenga is Karanga, Muwari is Karanga, and Muwali is Kalanga. And the Sotho people say Muhali or Muhali. And that Muhali or Muhali is called Nwari in Tsonga, it's called Nwali in Venda. And then that Queen of Heaven is also defined as the Most High. The Most High in Ndebele is Zimu. In Karanga and Venda is Muzimu. In Sotho, Kimudimu. So, when these people came, we believed in the higher being that is not even a human being. Kimudimu, Kimuhale, and so on. That's why you have Mahalis Mountain, Mahalisberg, named after God. And that goddess is also called Magore or Magole or Malundi or Maluti.
Okay.
So yes, the elder is talking about how we celebrate our new year and what are we celebrating when we are celebrating European, Arabian, Chinese, because we are ready to celebrate anything apart from Africa. But yes, I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm not gonna dwell on this too much. I'm gonna ask you, as a child of Africa, do you think we should adopt the Ethiopian New Year? Because when I was in Ethiopia, I was told that they just finished celebrating their New Year in September. Must we as African people all come together, join hands, and then demand one calendar for Africa? The Ethiopian calendar is the oldest calendar in the world, and they still kept it intact. Must we as Africans adopt that? Must the African Union adopt the Ethiopian New Year, the Ethiopian calendar, so that we as African people can also have something to identify with? So that we can also say September, this is our new year. You see, the problem about we as African people is that we are ready to accept anything outside of Africa. But when it is coming from our own, we begin to ask questions. I'm asking you as a child of Africa, Because this is where we can have our dignity. The Indians are proud of themselves because they have their own new year. The Chinese are proud of themselves because they have their own new year. The Arabians, they are proud of themselves because they have their own new year. The Europeans, they are proud of themselves because they have their own new year. Where is the African New Year? You see, this is where our low self-esteem is coming from, because we wake up every day, all the time. We want to be like something that we are not. So I am asking you, as a child of Africa, do you think as Africans we must adopt the Ethiopian calendar, and nationally or continentally we can use it? Even though I wasn't born in Ethiopia, you were not born in Ethiopia, but must we as children of Africa or citizens of Africa adopt the Ethiopian New Year, so that collectively we can also have something we can identify with African? Because the Indians got what they can identify with, the Chinese got what they can identify with, the Arabians got what they can identify with, the Europeans got what they can identify with. What can we as children of Africa identify with? That is where the self-pride, we don't have it. That is why we don't have dignity as African people. And I ask again, must we or should we adopt the Ethiopian New Year as continental New Year for the continent of Africa? Please let me know from the comment section. Pass your comments. Let us know what we can do. Must we do that as African people? Can that help us to have dignity as children of Africa? I thank you very much for coming around. Join our mission, One African Mission. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, One African Mission. Follow us on Facebook, One African Mission. We are on a mission, and our mission is to bring back the dignity of the African race. This is your brother Dobia Anzanse. Thank you very much for coming around.